Gee, even folks with a low income can achieve higher aspirations. I know it. I can tell you. I'm telling you, it's totally possible. Good morning, good afternoon. This is Jan. And evening. Well, I always forget evening. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on this channel, Save Money More with Jan channel. Let's talk about high financial dreams, even with the low income. How is this even possible? Things start with a thought. Everything we do starts with a thought. For example, you wake up in the morning, right? 9 out of 10 times, that cup of coffee that you would really want to have right next to you is not going to walk up to you. 9 out of 10 times. Although, on rare occasions, you may be with someone who's kind enough to bring you a cup of coffee in bed, waking up. Boy, what a nice thought would that be. However, 9 out of 10 times, that cup of coffee is not going to walk up to you. So a thought occurs in your head. Gee, I think I'm going to walk up to my pot of coffee rather, and make my own cup of coffee, my first one of the day, because the first sip is always the best. I don't care what anyone says. What is it with that first sip of the day? I'm telling you, especially on a brisk, chilly morning. Yeah. But the whole activity didn't start unless you had a thought to do it. Oh, today I think I am going to mow the lawn. Okay. And you end up mowing that lawn, right? Well, you thought about it, right? Okay. So we think of things beforehand before they become a reality. Anything becomes a reality is because we thought about it first. Okay. I'm just saying, even if it means just taking a walk around the block, I think I will take a walk around the block one time today, whatever it is. I'm just saying, any old thing. You had that thought in your mind and you fulfilled it. All right. Very, very good. But high financial dreams, even with a low income, you got to start somewhere. Let's start with saving. Now, saving money. Now, I mentioned this in previous videos. Saving money is not going to make you a gazillion bucks. Nope. But it sure is a great place to start because you have to have something to go on to the next step, which would be to begin to invest, right? So we have to have a thought in our mind. Turn that thought into beyond a dream, but instead a baby step and then a goal. A lot of steps start small. Baby steps are the beginning. This is one of the things about this channel. I never get into like the fancy, next layer of gaining money because number one, I'm not an advisor. That's not what I do. I'm just a person who likes to talk and I'm sharing an opinion. All of this is Jan's opinion. Okay. So I like to talk. You like to listen. And here's an opinion. You may agree with it. You may disagree with it. But everything starts at the beginning. Oh, but Jan, I'm tired of just, little bit of this, little bit of that. It has to start somewhere. We don't start at the top. Do we ever start at the top? Let's think about it. Okay, like many people climb, well, I don't know about right now. Some people declare themselves at the top right away. But back in the day, people would climb a certain ladder in the corporate world to the ladder of, as they used to say, the ladder of success. But that always included an activity, a thought, a climbing, a plan, a goal. Far too many of us have looked for so many years and have been bombarded, especially lately. OMG, with all these big, big, big numbers. This is why I remind us every once in a while. Walk away from that mentality. We hear about billions and billions and billions of dollars. We're becoming very numb to it. And in a way, that's kind of sad. Because, for example, let's suppose you have a small win. Don't dismiss the small wins that you had. For some people never even ever had even enough money to carry them for a whole month of, for example, let's say something goes wrong and they lose a job. They don't even have next month's bills, enough money to pay next month's bills. Many, many people. And by the way, there's a lot of masquerading going around. And I heard someone call it fake rich. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You look at their stuff All you see is stuff. Wow. That person has this, that, XYZ, shiny new penny here, shiny new penny there, the brand new car just driven off the lot, the beautiful, enormous space, house, blah, 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 and the bright, shiny excessivity of things, of stuff. But some people call that fake rich. What does that mean? I'm not sure what that person meant. But in my mind's eye, it's like giving off the appearance of having a lot of things. How do we know how that person or persons, how did they finance those things? Did they pay it out of pocket? Or is it on a credit card? So don't be disillusioned by that and feeling sorry for yourself when you come out 50 bucks ahead and you're not in debt. Let me tell you where the real kudos goes to that person who not only broke even for the month, but became $50 richer and is not in the rabbit hole of debt with a modest, nice, moderate, nice little lifestyle. They make the best of everything. There are people out there that live in really challenging situations. I mean, like challenging beyond challenging. And I've seen them, on these videos trying to keep whatever little space they have wherever they are as neat and clean as possible. I have to commend that person versus the person that has like the big grandiose uh, abundance and could care less attitude. Attitude is half the battle won. And that's why we need to have a better attitude about our accomplishments, including the so called small wins. I'm telling you, a lot of people are living fake rich, if that's what that person meant by it, by where the outside appearance looks so grandiose. Meantime, they're burying themselves in DEBT. Who wants to live that kind of a lifestyle? Not I, said me. Definitely not I. I'd rather be my meager, modest self and slowly gain things as opposed to putting on this facade, this masquerade, this show. That's too much stress. And at the end of the day, really, at the end of the day, it's being dishonest. Yes, you're being dishonest to the world, but more importantly, you're being dishonest with yourself. Remember one thing, you don't live with the whole world with you 24/7. You live with yourself 24/7. And putting on that masquerade, the illusion of having so many things, when at the end of the day, it's just paid for, not by yourself, by some other bank. Think about that. While it is good to have high financial dreams, I say this: don't knock the small wins, like when you go to the grocery store, when you planned out a great list for the week, when you didn't come up short before payday. For some people, that is a huge win. And I commend the person that tries. I commend the person or persons that look around and say, this so called budget is not working. What can I do to fix this? How can I live a better life? What do I need to cut back on? And they try their best to balance their own budget, their own spending plan. Kudos. And for anybody with a break even month that comes out ahead of the game and keeps doing that month in, month out, month in, month out, you are on the way to taking that money that you're saving and putting it into something else even bigger than that. Tell me, does that ring a bell for some people listening? You don't have to tell me who you are, but I really hope that this message encourages you to not, well, ignore the small wins that you did. We are the CEOs of our kitchens, of our bank accounts, of everything. We are responsible ultimately at the end of the day for how our life goes. Certain things there is no control over. But for the things that we can control, we need to say, you know what, I'm going to make the best of X, Y, and Z. I just don't know why. We don't credit ourselves. While we're trying to aspire to higher places, let's make the most of what we have and just be proud of ourselves for even trying.